How's it going, my truant people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back with a very different video for you today. You're probably wondering why we're on this screen. We're going to get onto that in just a second. But today is something weird. It's an impulsive video. For those of you that don't know, I'm currently isolating with coronavirus symptoms. I don't think I have it. I haven't tested positive, anything like that. In this country right now, it's not very easy to get tested, and I don't really want to be honest. I started out with just a cold the other day, sneezing, sniffly nose. And now I've developed a cough, a bit of a fever at times, and some sort of difficulty breathing here and there. It's not too bad. I'm okay. Like, if coronavirus wasn't a thing, I'd be going to work like normal, I'd be playing football like normal. Like, it's not debilitating anyway. It's just the fact that I have all of these symptoms right now that are listed as coronavirus symptoms that I'm having to isolate for the good of other people that might have underlying health issues that might catch it worse from me than I currently have it. My condition could deteriorate. I don't know, but obviously that means I'm in lockdown a little bit. I'm still going to be working from home until my health deteriorates too much that I can't work. But in the meantime, I'm going to be sat at home doing some stuff. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to record a video that I've always kind of wanted to make for a while now. Always for a while. That doesn't make any sense, does it? For a while I wanted to make this. But I thought it would take too much graphics work, too much whatever, too much editing. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it on impulse with no graphics. So that's why we're on here. You get to see the kind of things that I watch. Pokemon, draft league content, movie stuff, has to lose chubby cheeks, famously chubby cheeks on me, music, anime, football, more Pokemon, standard, COVID-19 news. Everyone in Britain's probably got these same things on their YouTube right now. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. So, oh, look at all these playlists I got going on. Let's close those down. I don't know how much of this you can see. I don't know how good my crop is. This is going to be a top 6 tips for improving in Pokemon Draft League. It's not going to be heavily edited. This is not going to be the best quality video you have ever seen. I completely appreciate that. But what I can offer is some personal insight. I started playing Draft League late 2017, I think. That feels right. Yeah, late 2017. So I've been playing for, geez, two and a half years now. And I went from being, if you want to go back, you can find it. You can find my first video. In fact, let's do that right now while I'm talking. We can go back. You can see my first video on my channel. It's not privated or anything like that. Where I played Draft League and I was very, very poor. Very, very poor. I got smashed by my friend Dean. This was my first proper OU Draft League, at least. And in that time, I've gone from being a very, very bad player to being an acceptable player. I won 2 leagues in Gen 7. One of them was a team league. Myself and 2 teammates won it. I did win my personal game in both of my playoff matches, although my regular season record was hit and miss. But still, you know, I won in the final and the semi-finals, so got to take that. And then I won 1 individual league on my own, which was the PGBL, which was uploaded on the channel, and like the other one, I got a little bit lucky in the final, but I mean, you know, you gotta be in it to win it, right? I've also made finals in a couple of other leagues too, so I'm like an okay player now. I'm by no means like an elite level player or anything like that. Look at my old thumbnails, man. What was I doing back here? Anyway, here we go. Here it was, 2 years ago, 35 views, my first ever Draft League video. If you wanna go watch it, see what I was like in my first battle, there it is. You can go do that. From there to now, I have definitely changed a lot. I didn't make playoffs that season in a league that was fairly like full of beginner players, and now I very consistently make playoffs in leagues that are full of much better standard players. The only league I haven't made playoffs in that I was taking seriously in recent years is APA Academy, where I was terrible. But apart from that, I've done pretty well. So that's my pedigree, and I feel like what I can offer is an insight into how I improved relatively quickly in the grand scheme of things. Like, I know 2 years sounds like a long time, but I improved league after league. Like, I was getting better very, very quickly at the beginning, and now I've just plateaued at this very average level ever since. But I think I can offer some insight. I think maybe even the most experienced players, this goes for anyone from beginner level to much, much better than me, and I know some of those players might be watching this, you know, if like Eric, Aquarius, if any of these people are watching this, like, they're much better players than me, but I still think they could learn from some of these tips. So that's my idea, that's my thinking anyway. So the first tip is learning to build properly. Now, this sounds like a really vanilla basic tip, but it was something that I didn't know when I got into Draft League at all. It was something that Nico taught me. The first thing he taught me was EVs and stuff like that, but it goes beyond that. So I want to talk a little bit about a couple of pastes that I have here in my teams. These are recent teams, just teams that I've used recently that I want to talk about. So You can see we got some crazy EVs going on here straight away with Drilly the Kid. Straight away, the most important thing that I think new players, experienced players, you'll know this already, but new players learn to speed creep properly. Like, it's so easy to shave like 50 EVs out of speed here and just whack them in other stats that could just get you a favourable roll on a damage roll to stop you from dying. It might let you run Adamant in some cases. Here you go, look, this one, run a little bit of speed and Adamant. It's just a very easy way to get yourself some points. I hope I'm not covering this. My face cam might be covering this, I've just realised. Hopefully I'm not covering Excadrill. Damn, I probably am. Tough. That's the way it is. I'm not editing. I told you. Regardless, you can probably see these EVs. Maybe you can't. You can see some of these low EVs. And the one thing that I want to start off by saying is that the very fashionable thing now in Draft League, and I think it's because of Envy, who I have a lot of respect for, so I'm not calling him out in any way, is these Chinese spreads, as Envy's coined them, which is like running like 12 in HP, 16 in defense, 25 in special attack, 186 in special defense, 47 in speed with a whatever nature, and it's like the more EVs I can jam into different things, the better that build is. It's just not true. Like, it isn't, in some cases, those sets are phenomenal, but it isn't always optimal, and that's what you've got to ask yourself, and I think this is where it helps not just new players, but experienced players, is that sometimes just put in max special attack, just put in max speed. Like, this is a focus sash lead Frostlass. It's supposed to die in 2 hits. All it's supposed to do is get 1 or 2 layers of spikes up, maybe get a taunt off, maybe get a destiny bond off. What do I need extra bulk for? What do I need 4 Spadef EVs and 8 defense? I really don't. I just need speed and special attack to maybe get a Shadow Ball for damage. And that's it. That's all I needed this game, and that's all it had to do. So it's very simple things like that, where sometimes I think people are, why do this? You might ask, well, why not speed creep, right? Why, if there was something at, say, a 108 base speed, Frostlass, as you don't know, has 110 base speed, why wouldn't I speed creep it? Some good players, especially, will try and speed creep your speed creep. So I've spoken about here. If you don't know what speed creep is, let's keep this very simple. If you don't know what speed creep is, let's say Excadrill has, I think it's like 88 speed, and there's something that has 85 speed as a base stat. It's like normal stat, the average, whatever. Why would you bother to run full speed on your Excadrill when you only have to outspeed something 3 points lower? You could take those 3 points out, in essence, in basic terms. At the same time, a good builder who has a base 90 speed Pokemon might look at your Excadrill and say, he's not going to run max speed on his Excadrill. He doesn't need to. I know that Dr. Slacking is going to build and take some EVs out of speed here, so I'm going to lower my speed even further. I'm going to creep his creeps. Very aggressive, but some good players will do it. Something like this, sometimes I do it a lot with Sash Alakazam and stuff like that as well. It just stops that. If anyone had a 112 base speed Pokemon that was like, his Frostlass is going to be slower, I've just caught them out and just got them there with that. So it's a very simple thing that you've got to ask yourself, like, is there any reason to... Oh, let's go for columns and let's go for colors. Look at that. That's much better. It's just a very easy way to ask yourself, like, am I being optimal when I'm piling these EVs and all over the place? This set here, max HP, max special attack. I could have took some out of special attack and I could have tried to put it in defense to maybe live a certain hit. I didn't want to. This was a Trick Room sweeper. I just wanted to run max special attack with a life orb and take as many kills as I could. This was a game where we timed out. If we hadn't timed out, this Pokemon was going to Oko and Assault Vest Conkeldurr, which is a pretty bulky Pokemon. If we hadn't timed out, we were going to get to see that. So sometimes, like, just do it. Just be like, nah, I'm just going to be aggressive. Here you can see I've actually bothered to do an exact EV spread on like taking a hit from something in speed. I've worked it out. Here, just got max attack, nearly max HP. I put a little bit of speed in case something wants to creep, and no speed Toxicroak. It's fine, it's basic. So that's my point, is that when you're optimizing your EVs, like, just think about how you're trying to optimize them. Here's another example that I've got, just for as a little bit of a comparison. You can see here, this set specifically, hopefully I'm not covering it. That's really annoying, the one that I want. Here's a good one. Here's a good one, Jigglypuff. Let's have a look at Jigglypuff. So, here I'm EVing to take a certain hit on the special side. You can see that, right? I've done a HP and Spadef investment that lets me take a hit on the special side for certain damage. I've also run a speed creep to outspeed something specifically, and then I've put probably the rest in attack with an adamant nature, and I've probably figured out how much attack with an adamant nature I need to be able to do maximum damage, or to be able to do the damage rolls that I need. So this probably... For example, this explosion might guarantee to Oko a I don't know, a Spadef Milotic after one switching on rocks. That might have been what I calced for. That's a very specific calc that I've ran there. So there are times where I'm not saying like you can't run these Chinese spreads. You definitely can. You can definitely do it. But I'm just saying like there was a reason in that game I needed to do that. Whereas sometimes you've got to be honest with yourself and you've got to look at your game plan and say, how is this helping my game plan? What am I trying to achieve in this game? In this game here, you know, I've got Metronome Toxicroak to help me break through. I think it was a Mandibuzz. I could just keep spamming Drain Punch on the Mandibuzz as it roosted up. Once I removed Mandibuzz, Drilly the kid went crazy with its Sand Rush Earthquake. So, excuse me, I think this was against Frosted in a game that never happened actually. So again, you can see, alright, I'm going to bring in the Mandibuzz on the Toxicroak, and then I'm just going to start spamming. Before, this item here is something that can be kind of hidden, Metronome doesn't always show up. Before Frosted realizes it, she's going to have to switch out her Mandibuzz while it's still pretty low, because she's been staying on the Metronome on. It's just another way of like catching it out and servicing your end game. So yeah, when I talk about building, for basic newbie players, like learn to speed creep, just learn to speed creep, learn how that works, learn about damage rolls with HP, like the damage calculator is your absolute best friend. This is a new computer, so I don't have much on it, but this is your best friend as a new player. Like as a new player, you should spend more time looking at this than you do at your battles. Like just learn this before you go into your game, like learn your calcs, learn how to build properly, like study it. You will find out so much by doing this. It'll help you learn type matchups, everything like that. Like, these are the basics, the foundation building blocks that you need in any Pokemon. This isn't just for Draft League, by the way. I believe this could help you play Pokemon Wi-Fi, Pokemon VGC, Pokemon Laddering. Like, I think this could help anyone that wants to play competitive Pokemon with these tips. But that's the first thing. Like, stay on this page forever. Learn that, you know, a Bug Buzz from an Acelgor only does 70% to an Abomasnow. So, you're going to have to run Life Orb, to be able to OHKO it, and even then you're not going to. So okay, you're going to have to run Life Orb Modest, but maybe, you know, in this particular game they have nothing on their team that's fast, so you can run like a min speed Modest Life Orb and you've got a good chance of OHKO, an 87% chance, right? You just learn your shit, like learn it, study it, and then you'll be able to EV better. So that's number one. Second thing that helps with that a lot is a bit of a weird tip. I'm hoping that I can show something on my YouTube channel to back this up, but I don't know if I can. I can a little bit actually. My second tip is to play in as many formats as you can at the beginning. Like I still think it always helps to dip your toe in once you're an experienced player, but especially at the beginning. Like you can see here, I've got oh Corona. I've got ABC here, which is an OU draft league. You can see Hydreigon, Kieran Black. Like this is some OU shenanigans. Here, I was playing Little Cup on the ladder. Here, Little Cup, Scraggy sweeping. Here, this was my first ever like foray into any kind of draft league, and it was just a very short tournament. This was an NFE tournament, so not fully evolved Pokemon, so Gloom was playing. So straight away, like I'm playing in a few different formats early on. Since then, I went on to play Ubers leagues. I played a ton of LTC here, which is a low tier format. So you can see Blastoise, Gallade, Swallow, Ditto, like a ton of different formats. I played Little Cup, I played Ubers, I played low tier. I played OU, I played not fully evolved. Just do it. Just play all these creator Pokemon, like all of that, because what you can do is sometimes like you might draft a Pokemon in a low tier league, like Blastoise was a very good example, right? I used Blastoise, thought I would love it, really didn't enjoy it, but I found that it had a niche with certain sets that then I could apply that to other Pokemon in OU leagues. Gramble as a wall breaker I found was brilliant. I found that I ran banded Gramble in low tier leagues and I absolutely loved it, and it made me appreciate running like certain choice items a bit more in higher tier leagues. It made me appreciate kind of choice wall breakers a little bit more. The knowledge that you might glean from a new format, it's just a fresh perspective. Like it makes you look and analyze the format you're playing in slightly differently. If you only ever play OU leagues, like I don't know how to word it exactly, but the way that you think can become slightly stale. Like you can just see the same 50 Pokemon over and over and over doing the same thing, and so you're not getting any new kind of like, I hate to use this word because I think it sounds cheesy, but like inspiration. You're not getting any new ideas, like you're not branching out and challenging yourself. If you go into different formats, you're going to see wacky shit, and it's going to make you go back to your main format and be like, I understand this a little bit differently now. I have a fresh perspective on what I've been doing. Maybe this Pokemon that I tried using in this generation or at this time in my career that I hated, after I played low tier format, Ubers, whatever, then I come back to it, I'm like, this Pokemon seems good to me now because I found how to use it. It just broadens your playing style, and that's what I wanted to say as well. Experiment with different playing styles, along with different formats, like play with different playing styles, like try, you know, drafting bulky, try drafting offense, try running offense and bulky in different games. Back to this team builder. This is a kind of balanced build. You know, I've got a Rocky Helmet mon, a bulky mon, a recover mon. Like I've got some, you know, bulky pivot, a wall breaker, and then a sweeper. Like this I would kind of describe as balanced, like fairly balanced. This is far more to do with offense, like sash, spike, leads, max attack. All right, one Rocky Helmet pivot, Trick Room Sweeper, max attack. Like, this is a much more offensive team composition than this one, and I would have to play the two differently. My most recent game, if you want to go back and watch this as a case study, my most recent game in the UBL against Automatic, I built an offense team, and I played it like a defense team, and I lost. I played badly. That team, I played way too passively. I was switching around, letting him get chip on all my mons. I had, like, resists berries to try and take things on. I wasn't using them. I had bulk to try and take things on. I wasn't using it. I played so passively with a team that would lose if you played it passively. So make sure that you're pairing up your team building with your playing style, and the best way, like I say, to do that is to experiment in different formats and different play styles and just try it all. Which brings me on to my fourth point, which is to try different Pokemon. So again, if you look in the thumbnails here, like, there's a great variety of different Pokemon. One thing that, shout out to Ben, and this is really crucial, I'm going to get onto this in a second here, these showdown videos, but one thing, shout out to Ben, he's always forced me to draft different things. Checkmate Ben, if I tried to draft a couple of things in a row, he'd be like, you're getting so boring with that, right? Double Keldeo, he'd be like, get rid of that, I'm sick of seeing Keldeo on your teams. And in the early days, that was huge for me, because it meant that I found things I didn't think I would like, that I loved, like Keldeo, which everybody else hates, I love it. It meant that I found things that I hated, like Manaphy, that I thought I would love. Porygon Z, excellent Pokemon, never thought I'd like that. There's lots of things that, like, you just find by using them, you will surprise yourself. And again, they might shed some light on your old favorites. A very good example here is Eric. Eric Strumpful, for those of you who don't know, he doesn't upload anymore. He used to make the Waiver Wire show for the GBA, is one of the best players that isn't, like, super out there in the Draft League community. He's a phenomenal player, even if he doesn't play that often, even if he's retired sometimes or whatever else, along with most of my friends, to be honest. But him specifically, he drafts the same Pokemon a lot. Things like Mega Dancy, he used to draft a lot, Tornadus Therium, Amoonguss, and that's fine. He was very, very good with those Pokemon, but I think once he started drafting different things, different variants, and started spreading out his draft pool of Pokemon, he became an even better player, in my opinion. And he might disagree with me. I'm allowed to call Eric out. We've known each other long enough for me to say that. I think he improved when I saw him trying different things, like when I saw him sweeping people with Venomoth and shit like that. Like, I saw him playing with different play styles over the generation, and I think that improved him as a player once he branched out. And then he went back to his standard Pokemon that he always drafts, and he was a better player for it. So just because you've been playing a long time, like, don't become stagnant. Don't have your favorites and you're like, I only use these Pokemon and these other Pokemon are all bad, and I know that this is bad even though I've never drafted it. Like, you've got to take chances. Chances are, if you play Draft League for a long time, you'll play in a lot of leagues, you may as well take risks. You may as well try everything there is to try. Like, even if one of your drafts turns out to be shit and you have a horrible season, fine, you'll have another season. Like, don't, especially as a new player, but even as an experienced player, like, don't put the pressure on yourself where every time you play Draft League, you have to win the league, or you have to make playoffs, or you have to whatever. I did APA Academy, a great one. We had a ton of different drafts in APA Academy. It's one of the few leagues I didn't make playoffs in. The format really disagreed with me having multiple drafts because I never felt like I could settle with my team and understand it at that point. It was good, though, because it was something that took the pressure off me. It was like, okay, now I haven't made playoffs in a league. That would have been a while that I'd been building up, where I'd been telling myself I have to make playoffs in every single league. Now I haven't. That monkey's off my back. Like, I don't have to worry about that anymore. If I don't make playoffs in my next league, so be it. I haven't got a streak to maintain or anything. So, like, allow yourself to be bad sometimes. Allow yourself to lose. Allow yourself to draft Pokemon that it turns out you hate, and then you've learned that you hated it, and you might come back with new knowledge later and decide that you like it. So, yeah, just don't put lots of pressure. This is a very vast point. My point is, you have to let yourself draft a variety of Pokemon. You have to let yourself try a variety of playstyles with those Pokemon, a variety of team compositions. Otherwise, you're going to become a stagnant and predictable player. And those players exist, and those players, I'm not going to name names, but there are players that I know in the Draft League community who are phenomenal players, but are relatively predictable because they do the same things over and over, and they've got comfortable. And it's like, you will get even better as a player if you take yourself outside of your comfort zone again. If you make yourself vulnerable, if you make yourself lose games to try new things, you'll keep improving. It's something that I think Checkmate Ben, to reference him again, phenomenal player, phenomenal draft league player. He loses a decent amount to players that are skill level wise quite a bit below him, but he also wins a ton of titles, and that's because he's been able to lose sometimes. He's been able to just go into leagues and accept losing, to try things and realize I hated using this, and it's okay to feel that way. That's something that I think we can all learn from. Anyway, I said I would mention these showdown ones, which brings me on to tip number 3, ladder. If you have enough time to be building for 3 different draft leagues at once, right? Cut out 2 of those draft leagues at some point, like not straight away. When they finished, go down to 1 draft league. And for the next 3 months, instead of having a draft league going for 12 weeks, play on the ladder. Use spam as many different teams as you can get. Go to people like PokeGame's videos, steal his teams. Like, I think now, if I remember right, I'm going to pause this. If I remember right, he now has a website. Okay, here we go. This is an invaluable resource for new players. Like, I can't speak about this enough. And so Smogon does this as well. Go on here. I mean, it's better if you can find them elsewhere because everyone spams his teams, but it's fine. And just steal these teams. Like, just click on the paste, take this team, go play some Ubers. Lose a lot. Like, lose over and over and over. And don't be the guy on the ladder that goes, "Ah, you noob, like, you hexed me," and whatever. Like, when you lose at the bottom of the ladder, when you lose at the top of the ladder, it doesn't matter. Like, if you feel some kind of way about that loss, hit the instant replay button. Just hit that button and watch the game back. Instead of being salty, instead of going, "Hacks lost me that game, I would have won that game without hacks." Yeah, maybe you would have, but could you have won it in a way that never allowed the hacks to happen? Like, go back and watch those replays. With Draft League, you have to wait a week per battle. You're not going to get that instant gratification and that instant feedback. When you go on the ladder, you can just play and play and play. You can lose and lose and lose. You can watch the replays back. If you win a game and it felt like you won it easily, click the instant replay button. Watch what you did. Did you make an aggressive double that suddenly opened up that game? Mr. Jamvad is a content creator who talks about what can his opponent not guard against. Like, did you do something that opened a door that your opponent couldn't guard? Did you free up a Pokemon to sweep in the late game? Like, go back and analyze your games, and the ladder is the easiest way to do that because it takes 3 minutes for a battle. You click instant replay and you get to watch it and you get to go, that was a bad turn, that was a bad turn. In the UBL this season, I haven't really done that enough. When I do post-coms, it's very easy for me to sit down and watch back a post-com. When I'm doing live comms, like, maybe nowadays I'm getting complacent and I don't do that enough. After I lost to Automatic, I watched my own video. I watched my own live com back, and it makes me cringe. I don't like watching my own videos. I probably won't watch this one. But I did it because I was poor in that game. Like, I was subpar. My play was very subpar. So I went back and I watched it as if, you know, after some days, I gave myself some distance from it. I went back and watched it with a fresh perspective, and I was like, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong. So the next time, hopefully I won't make those mistakes. And it's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up. You don't need to be like, ah, that was terrible. Like, take it on the chin and get better. That's how you improve. But yeah, play the ladder. Play OU, play UU, play Little Cup, play Past Generations, play Ranbats, although Ranbats is probably the worst one for improving. I spammed Ranbats for like a year and a half before I got into Draft League, and it didn't help me get much better at all, but it might help you learn the types and stuff like that if you're very new. It might help you learn the weaknesses and things like that. So do all of that. As I say, go on to Smogon and go on, like, here we go. Let's say you want to draft a Terrakion, right? Like, go on to Smogon. You can see I've looked at this recently. You go onto here, right? Have a look at what it says for what this thing does. Alright, it's a strong wall breaker. Now you understand a little bit more about Terrakion. And this never changes, by the way. It doesn't matter how long you've been playing. Go back and look at these resources. You're never too good to look at what other good players have said. You never know more than everybody else in the community. So always go back and have a look. So, alright, now I know a little bit about Terrakion. It's a strong wall breaker, has a high attack stat, and amazing stab combination. What does that mean? Like, if you don't know what it means, ask someone. That's going to come up a little bit later. But okay, rock plus fighting. What that means is that hits a ton of different things. Like, there's not a lot that can switch in on both of those types. It's very hard to switch into without taking huge damage. Have a look at usage tips. Early game, Terrakion should focus on attacking instead of setting up with Swords Dance so it can whittle down opposing teams. Okay, so what they're saying here is don't click SD turn 1. Like, unless you've got an insane matchup. Spam it. Like, get it in, click close combat, get it out. Get it in, click close combat, get it out. Like, just whittle down your opponent. Like, these will tell you how to use things in a way, and there's always a variety of ways you can use things. You can always disagree with this and do it different situation by situation. But it will help you to learn the basics, the fundamentals, and you're never too good to brush up on the fundamentals. To take a sports analogy for you, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, great footballers, or soccer players if you're American. they still go to training and they still have to pass the ball 5 yards between 2 cones to another player. Doesn't matter how good they are, they still have to go and pass the ball 5 yards. The very basic thing of football, even the best players keep doing. I don't know, I'm sure other sports are relevant, I just don't know anything about many of the sports. But those basics, those fundamentals, you can never be too good at them. So never stop looking at this stuff the whole way through your career. Team options here, this is a great thing for Draft League. Draft League fits best on offensive teams. If you know that you want to draft a very defensive team, maybe this isn't going to be the best thing to do. Draft's a little bit different. Whatever. Due to its bad defensive typing, Terrakion has a very hard time directly switching in, and thus pairs well with U-turn and Volt switch users such as Scissor and Mega Manectric. Oh, Corona. So, if you're building a Draft League team, you've drafted Terrakion, what this is saying is it's going to be hard for you to hard switch it in. You're not just going to be able to throw it out on a lot of things and start clicking moves. So what you need to do is you need to draft pivots. You need to get a lot of Volt turn to support your Pokemon. It's all well and good drafting Terrakion, drafting... let me think. You could draft Terrakion, Mamoswine, Kieran Black, and let me think. Terrakion, Kieran Black, Weavile, and Mamoswine, right? Horrible type synergy, but there you've got like 4 or 5 incredible, strong Pokemon. Holy shit, how are people going to build for that? How are they going to find switch-ins to that? How are you going to get them on the field? Like, those Pokemon, are you just going to have to sack something, kill one of your Pokemon every single time to get something into revenge kill? You're going to lose that race. So you've got to think about team composition. You've got to think about how you're actually going to play it. And these resources, don't be too proud to use them. Never be too proud to look to other people for help, no matter how good you are. No matter how good you are, you are never too good to ask for help. So, like I say, spam this stuff on the ladder. Use the resources available to you. Do it. Number 2. My second tip, and you're going to go, oh wow, this is such a biased tip, this is such a whatever tip, and yeah, maybe it is, but this is something that I really did, and this was probably the biggest thing, no, the second biggest thing, hence why it was number 2, I forgot to put these in order, the second biggest thing that helped me improve as a player, and that is watching different content creators. I love WolfGlick, right? Absolutely, like, he's the reason that I started playing competitive Pokemon. For those of you that don't know, I saw him in like a free-for-all video many years ago, and I heard them talking about him being a world champion, and I was like, you can be a world champion of Pokemon? I didn't know that. I really liked his personality. I thought he seemed like such a nice guy. And then I watched him play when he won the ORAS VGC World Championships, right? With Hitmontop, Raichu, all that stuff. And I was like, I want to learn competitive Pokemon now. He's the reason I started playing. I don't only watch this guy play. Like, sure, he might be very good. Sure, he might have won the WB X amount of times. But you can learn stuff by watching the elite players. You can watch stuff by watching the average players. You can watch stuff by learn stuff by watching the beginner players. Because sometimes I might watch a Wolf game and he might lose, and I might not even be able to figure out myself how he lost. I might not know the better plays he could have made, but I might watch a player who's slightly worse than me or newer than me, let's phrase it like that, and I might be able to say, I understand why they lost this game. Even if they don't, I might look at it and go, okay, that's where they misplayed, that's where they threw away their win con, that's where they threw away their checked their opponent's win con. I understand how they lost that game, and then when I go and play that same game, I won't make that same mistake, or I might, but I won't make it as often as I would have done before. So don't be afraid to watch players that you think, like, I hear this a lot where people will watch people and they'll be like, he's bad, she's bad, they're bad, I'm not watching them, they're bad. Sure, it can be frustrating if you've been playing a long time and you're hearing people who are arrogant and bad and they're like, I'm so good at this game, I got hacked out, like whatever, and they just played badly. That can be frustrating, but you aren't sat in the room with that person. You aren't sat face to face having to tolerate their arrogance. You can still watch that and be like, actually you lost because of this, this, and this, and I've learned from that. Like, I've been able to analyze your game and get feedback from that. Similarly, you might watch Wolf play and you might be like, I don't know why he won that game. He just kind of won. He just always seems to kind of win. Again, if you go and watch people that are losing, you might figure out, actually, I know why they're losing and not winning, and that might help you win in turn in future, right? I think a lot of the time we think that the best way to learn is to just watch the elite players. You know, I'm only going to watch Pokeaim, I'm only going to watch Wolf, and like that's the best way for me to improve. But no, like there's so many different content creators. So for me, when I first started playing, I watched Wolf a lot, but I watched some guys that weren't huge back then, who actually, like, I'm not calling them out, these are very good battlers, but they weren't like well known. So I started out by watching, I think it's I can never remember his numbers after his name. No, I just do this. This is how we do it. I watched Root a lot, right? Oh, maybe taking the numbers out. I watched Root a lot. Good player, very good player. I'm not calling him out at all, but maybe not someone that like is the instant name that everyone's like Pokeaim is, right? Not the recognizable name. This man I watched religiously, like absolutely religiously. When I was going through a hard time, I watched this guy's videos and I just adored them. Again, missed out on playoffs in WBE this season. Had a really tough season. Still really loved watching his videos, still really enjoyed them, and was still very entertained, and still got a lot from them, even though he had a tough time, even though he would say like he didn't play at his best. I still got a lot from watching that season. Another one, HOD Productions, Randy, who obviously now is a little bit more known because he won the GBA. These guys, like, I was watching all these guys and I was learning from them when maybe they weren't super well known. One of my friends, like, this is the other thing, don't just watch Wi-Fi leaks. Like, go and watch Showdown content creators, because Showdown videos, ignoring that timestamp there, can be a little bit faster. You can get a little bit more from them. This guy isn't fast at all, but go watch some BKC videos. Like, go watch the in-depth analysis. Don't only watch live com, watch post com too. One of the things, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning this, we were talking about it in the UBL server, and Automatic was talking about post com content, and he was saying one of the things he finds frustrating is when he feels you watch a post com player maybe tell little fibs about the plays that they made. So maybe they'll say, well, I made this play predicting this, and you kind of know watching it they didn't. They kind of got lucky, or it kind of just worked out better than they expected, and you feel like they're lying a little bit, right? And that can be frustrating as a viewer. And I do get that, but and there's a sense of trust when you watch postcom. Like, do I trust everything this person's saying? It's not live, so they've had time to go away, think about how they want to present themselves. It's not an authentic reaction anymore. And I get that. I get that there's that sense of like, yeah, that lack of authenticity, but at the same time, the level of analysis that are good, and BKC I held up as the staple for this, a good post-com analyst will give you, goes beyond anything anyone can do in live com. Like, just from an educational perspective, the level of analysis you can give in a post-com when you've had time to reflect, analyze, study that game, it goes way beyond you can possibly do in the moment, anyone. So go watch some post-com content creators as well as live com. Like, watch it all, watch it all. Good players, bad players, medium players, post-com, live com. Soak up as much as you can. Watch team builders, like, learn how they team build. You will find things, like, go outside your comfort zone, watch new content creators, like, just do it. It will help you, honestly, it will help you. Last point, and I've actually, you know, shouted out some of my friends already in this. Aquarius, big one that I shouted out here, because they make very good showdown content, is make friends. Like, be brave and make friends. And I'm gonna be, I guess, a little bit presumptuous here and borderline rude. I am burning up right now. It's so cold in my house. I'm trying to keep this fleece on, but I am sweltering. My fever's definitely coming back. Regardless, we play an esport, right? We play a video game competitively. I don't mean to offend anyone by saying this, but a lot of us are nerds, right? A lot of us are pretty geeky people. If we're doing this, if you're playing a 20-year-old video game competitively, you're probably a little bit of a geek in some respects, right? In some aspects, you probably are. And again, not to like typecast or whatever, but a lot of people that are geeks or play a ton of video games all the time probably have some level of social anxiety. Some, not everyone, but some. And I'll speak from my own experience here. I definitely like. I'm not the geekiest guy in the world, if whatever, probably sounds a bit whatever, but you know, I enjoy a lot of sports. I get out, I'm very active and playing football and stuff like that. I'm not like a shut-in or anything like that, and that's not to say one's superior to the other, but I still struggle a lot with social anxiety, always have, my whole life, incredibly shy, very nervous, and when I joined the Draft League community, I was terrified, honestly. Like, yeah, I was very scared. The first time Eric rang me, right, Strumpful, he was a GBA analyst. He rang me. I was like 22 years old. He was like 17. I was 5 years older than him. I was so scared. I was sweating. I was pacing around my room with my headphones in because I was like, this is a GBA analyst talking to me. Like, this is a guy who knows what he's on about talking to me. I'm a nobody. Like, I felt so insecure, so terrified speaking to him. That's not me trying to gas up Stromful. He doesn't need gassing up. That's just the truth. Like, that's how I felt when Nico like took me under his wing, when Bantix, as he was called back then, now 2-Bit Crow, like offered me a place in his little Draft League tournament. I was so grateful that anyone just showed me some kindness. you need to be brave. Like, if you are someone that struggles a little bit with social anxiety, if you are someone who struggles a little bit with nervousness interacting in Discord servers and stuff, and it can be overwhelming when you join a new league and there's all these people there that already know each other and you don't know them. It's fucking scary and it's overwhelming and they're all got in-jokes that you don't get yet. Just be brave. Like, put yourself out there. Make friends. Like, there will be someone, even if it's one person in that server, who you will get along with, who you will click with. So just be brave and do it. We're all in the same boat. No one in this community is terrifying. Now, 3 years after that first conversation with Eric, he's been to stay with me 2 summers in a row, and he's coming again this summer to stay with me. And this was a guy that I was terrified to speak to the first time I spoke to him. Very, very good friend now. I have a friend that lives in Sweden. How the hell did that happen, right? I have multiple friends that live in Sweden now. That's just what you have to do. Like, put yourself out there. And the reason that I say this, if you're like, how is that going to help me improve as a player? Is this some shonen protagonist power of friendship bullshit? No, it's not. Friends are, in the most cynical bastard way, invaluable resources. They are people that you can mock with. They are people that you can talk about your team builds with. They are people that will push you to become a better player. They are people that will challenge you. They are people that you will want to beat. Aquarius, I've kept on the screen. I have never beaten Aquarius in a draft league game. We've played, like, I don't know how many times. I've never beaten them. They're my only friend that I haven't beaten yet. I want it. I want that W more than I want to beat anyone. If you gave me the choice of going and winning, like, the GBA or beating Aquarius, I'd rather beat Aquarius right now, because that's the last friend I haven't beaten. And that kind of drive to keep you improving is so crucial. Like, you need that as a draft league player. You need that as a competitive Pokemon player. If you're playing on Smogon and stuff, continue that. Like, make friends on Smogon. I've never done it because I joined the draft league community, but go into the chat rooms on Showdown. Like, go onto the forums on Smogon. Speak to these people. Like, go on people's as well. That's another thing. When you're trying to get teams, go on people's Smogon pages. Go on their walls. Mr. Jamvad's wall, I used to get a lot of my teams from when I was laddering. Anyway, go and do all this stuff. Make friends, because 1, it will keep you motivated to improve. 2, it's just good. Like, it's never a bad thing to make friends, right? And 3, like, they're resources. Honestly, you can use them to get better. Simple as that. Like, I have my front office. This actually is a good point. I have my front office here. You can see the list of people. It's very, very small and very intimate. I've deliberately kept it that way. Shout out to anyone that's ever offered to help me in my front office, ever asked to be in it. Like, I appreciate you, and I honestly wish I could add more people, but I keep it like this for a reason, and that's because every one of us here, barring BFO Ghost, who's our team mascot, he's here, he wears the suit for us, he runs around outside to cheer us on, and he comes up whenever we need him, he does. The rest of us are all extremely active in this server, and we all help each other. You can see here, I have a channel for every single one of my front office members to help for their help with team building. It's not, whilst technically, yes, this is a Bovines front office, everyone can use it and everyone does use it at different times. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and we've created a community that all helps each other out. We all drive each other to improve. So yes, I might use them for mocks, and you can say, oh, that's cynical, you use your friends. Yeah, and they use me. Like, and we have a bloody good time doing it. Like, we're just enjoying each other's company at the end of the day. Beyond that, like, you can also see in my list of servers, because I've tried to make friends, because I've endeavored to speak even when I'm awkward at speaking, I now have all of these servers. Look, all of these servers someone invited me to if I didn't create them. It's a hell of a lot of servers. That's a good way to find new leagues to compete in, to find new players to play against, to find new play styles to learn from, to find plenty of replays to sit and watch when you're bored, having a shit on a toilet or in isolation with coronavirus. Just, you know, I can go, alright, let me go into LTC, I want to watch a low tier replay. Let me go to battle replays. I watched this one this morning while I was sat in the car waiting for my mum. Don't worry, I didn't leave the car. I'm not trying to put anyone in danger. I just sat in the car. My mum was trying to pull a wall down outside in an isolated area. We drove there with the windows up and I stayed in the car. I don't want anyone thinking that we were out there spreading coronavirus. We're really not. Anyway, I sat watching this while I was waiting for her. I sat and watched this. What did I get to see in this? I got to see Drillbur putting in work, right? Shout out to Hannah who did this. Got to see, and Jack, phenomenal. Again, Hannah, player that I don't really know, player that I knew nothing about, friends with Sean, come into our side of the community recently, seems super nice. Jack, I know, very good player, very, very good player. Here, I get to see Hannah fucking giving it to him with a Drillbur. Look at this shit, this is outrageous. Drillbur going in, you never get to see that. We're going to get to this in a second, we skip through. We also get to see a Diancie here, click Diamond Storm, Oko Rapidash, chew up a hit from Electivire, and then click Explosion. Click Explosion and get a nice Oko. I wouldn't have built that set. If that was me, I wouldn't have ran Explosion Diancie. I got to see Explosion Diancie put in some fine work. Hannah went on to win this game against a very, very good opponent. Again, just being in all these servers, watching other people's replays, going, holy shit, that was cool. Like, I want to do that shit. It just helps you improve, and the best way to expand in the community, to join different parts, is to make as many friends as you can, to interact with as many people as you can, build up a reputation as someone that people want to have around. Yeah, just be good to people, treat people well, and this will all help you improve. So I feel like I've been speaking at 100 miles an hour. I sound like I'm having a manic episode. This was super loose, but I wanted to make this video. Maybe you've all hated it. Maybe this will get far more dislikes than likes. I don't know. I just think that for those of you that are curious, maybe you got something from this. If everyone that watched this got one little thing that they thought, huh, yeah, I'm going to do that. Or if you saw some new content creators shouted out that you were like, huh, I'm going to go watch those guys, like, then hey, it was worth it. But that's enough from me. Look at this. This is what I had my list written on, right? It's literally just an envelope. That was the prep for this video. I'm hoping that'll focus. That's how. Oh, I'm just showing you my address. I'm gonna have to edit now. Shit. Yeah, that was my prep for this video. Oh, I can't believe I just gave myself editing. What a clown. Does anyone care? No one's gonna stalk me. Oh, are you gonna stalk me? Comment down below if you're going to stalk me because I just revealed my address. Yeah, if you have any tips, comment them down below. I would love to see this video get more comments than any other video I've uploaded. It won't, because I've said this at the end instead of the beginning, because I'm an idiot, so no one's going to have watched this far. But if you have, I would love to see this video get more comments than any of my other videos, not because it goes into bigger circulation, nothing like that, but so that people could just scroll down and read even more tips, like see even more advice, like make this like a Twitter thread full of advice for people that want to join the Draft League community, that want to play competitive Pokemon or Smogon, that want to play VGC, that want to do Wi-Fi battles, anything like that. Get it all down there. Get it all down there. I'm going to shut up now because I desperately need a drink. My voice is hurting. My tea has gone cold and I'm supposed to drink hot drinks. And I need to strip because I am wham. I'm a bit too wham. So, before I get naked, thank you so much for floating around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.